Ooh, ooh. All right, big fish ish. Y'all know what it is. So we got a big fish talk today, and this is a different type of conversation, of course, than the podcast. But the talks are always, time that I can take to get my thoughts out. Where obviously the podcasts are either featuring a guest or at least my thoughts are a little bit more ironed out and organized. But sometimes I just want to hop on here and just have a conversation with y'all, share some of my thoughts, share some things that have been on my mind for today, and just let it rip. So here we are. I realized something today that I think I realized before, and sometimes you have an epiphany, but the first time it doesn't really hit you as hard as the second time, or maybe it does. But I was reminded that we don't like winners. We don't like winners when it comes to competition. We don't like winners in a sense of, like, think about sports teams. We want our team to win instead of just rooting for winners. Most of the time, we don't just choose a sports team because they win all the time. And most of the time, we stick with our team regardless, as fans of those teams. And just by playing the odds, most of the time, your team is not going to win all the time. And chances are your team is not going to consistently have the best chance of winning all the time. Excuse me. And it brought a lot of thoughts to mind. Ever since like with Tom Brady, people he has more people hating on him. Probably more people tune in to watch Floyd Mayweather lose than they do to watch him win. And people can say all this stuff when it comes to Floyd Mayweather that was his out of the ring antics. He's cocky, he's arrogant, had some issues, with the law, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think that's all BS. I think all those things just justify the real reason why people don't like Floyd Mayweather, why people don't like Tom Brady, why people, hated Michael Jordan, why people hate a lot of great players, great things, great organizations, great companies. People root for them to fail. Um, and it's because we like it's like you ever thought about it like this? I always used to think that people root more for an underdog story, somebody that got in trouble and bounced back and now they're on a straight path, more than the person that just stayed steady on that straight path the entire time. And you wonder why. And you wonder why people are so attached to just rooting for the underdog. And I've been that way too. I've been that way too. If I don't have a horse in the race, then I'll just, sometimes I'll just be like, I'm rooting for the underdog. But at the end of the day, why? Why would we not root for winners? And it's because winners and winning, I should say, is boring. Winning is boring. Losing most of the time and having a chance of winning is more exciting. We like to root for stuff that doesn't make sense when it comes to losing and winning. And I'll break it down for you when I say doesn't make sense. Let me compare the two. All right, so a winning team, they win for a reason. Most teams win for a reason. They win because they're the more disciplined team, the more focused team, the hardest working team, the most intelligent team. All these different things. They prepared the best. The team that prepares the best may have the best skill, may have the best talent. Why would we not root for those people? Why would we not root for the people, especially when you think about like a Tom Brady or even Floyd, because let's stick to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is probably the least skilled out of all the great quarterbacks, but he's the greatest. Doesn't have the talent that Aaron Rodgers has. Doesn't have the skills, that a lot of these other quarterbacks have. But he just wins. He wins because he has the intangibles. We always talk about intangibles in sports, and a lot of times intangibles are what separate winners from losers. But why not root for the Patriots? Why not root for the team? Now, let's put aside the fact, like I said, oh, they cheated. Let me break it down for y'all. Every team is cheating. I saw cheating on a bunch of teams. What we consider cheating. Listen to the other team's calls. I'm not going to say that I played on teams that were filming them, but, deflating the balls a bit. I'm sure a lot of quarterbacks are doing that. But I don't even think that's the reason why people don't like the Patriots or didn't like the Patriots. It was because they just won too much, and winning is boring. And when you root for winners and when you become fans of winners, you have to become fans of their habits, right? And why they win. They win because they're disciplined, focused, intelligent, and they prepare. They're consistent, all these different things. But that intimidates people. It makes them uncomfortable. We'd rather root for the team that just happened to win where it didn't make sense. They partied all day. I mean, they partied all, year. They're not disciplined. They're not focused, but they're a fun team because we want to have fun. We don't want to do the boring stuff because the people that I've been around, whether in sports or just life, that win the most, it's very boring. It's repetitive. It's consistent. It's mundane, I guess you would say. It's very much vanilla. They're going to show up, do the same thing every day to a high standard and not have any excuses and just show up and produce. People don't like that. People don't like that. Because if you root for a team like that, then aren't you going to have to embrace those very same intangibles? Aren't you going to have to embrace that very same culture? Now, it's different when you're just rooting for the home team, if you're from Boston or something like that. Most people just root for their home teams. But in all actuality, why not just root for the winners? Why not just root for the person that is favored or deserves to win based on all those things that I just mentioned? Why root against Floyd Mayweather? Stop lying. It's not because it's not because of all the he got in trouble with the law. No, it's because you're hating on him. You're hating on his consistency. You're hating on him that he has the discipline, hard work, dedication, focus, and intelligence to go in there every fight and make it look easy and win. But to do those things, you have to do what Floyd's willing to do, the boring work. What's the secret sauce? I was in better shape. How you get in better shape? I trained harder. I was more focused. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I wasn't out getting in trouble. Floyd could fool us with eating the McDonald's and stuff whenever. I don't feed into that. Floyd takes care of his body. I don't believe all that. But we don't like the consistency that winning teams and winning people in general do to make them win. Like, we don't like all the intangibles of that. And even as I'm talking about it, I'm still thinking about this stuff because I had to kind of challenge myself and kind of change my own thoughts because in the past I've rooted, against, I'm not rooting for Dallas Mavericks. I'm just rooting against LeBron. And of course, LeBron, that's when he came out and said, At the end of the day, people were just hating on me, but they still got to go back, wake up the next day with the same problems that they had today. And yeah, I lost the game, but I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go home tonight to my beautiful family and my amazing life. And I had to think about that. And it may not necessarily directly apply to what I'm expressing right now. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just sharing my thoughts. But why not root for the team that always puts themselves in the best position to win? Why get caught up in all the emotions of, oh, that's my team? How is that your team? Just because you like the jerseys? Because everything else changes. Do you even know who the owners are? Players change teams all the time. I don't root for teams. I root for players. I check players because, I become a fan of that particular person. I want to check them out. My loyalty is not to a team, but when a loyalty is to a team, why not have a loyalty to a team that does things the right way, that has the best run organization? When you're first choosing your team, and I know we pretty much just choose, my daddy was a Steelers fan, so my whole family Steelers. I get all that. But maybe we should either change our teams, or most people aren't going to do that, but maybe we should, start rooting for another team, maybe. A team that just does well, that does the right thing all the time, that has a certain level of professionalism that they bring to the table every single time. To me, this is just my opinion, that would align ourselves with becoming fanatics of processes, of systems that work, winning systems, right? Winning systems, attaching ourselves to a player like Tom Brady, who's going to have every single quality that you would want if you were playing that sport, or if you're teaching, your kids to play a sport. But why? No, we want to root for the fun. Winning is boring. And it got me to thinking, and another reason I was thinking about it is because I was just thinking about how, we think about dynasties, and whether it's like Kobe and Shaq, or whether it's the Bulls, whether it's the Golden State Warriors with KD, where you think like, dang, that team's going to win for the next 12 years. But they don't. Something always ends up breaking it up. And I believe a lot of that is because the things that players on teams or teams are willing to do to win on a consistent level, it becomes boring. It's not as exciting. You already won one. You already won two. Yeah, this isn't as exciting. I kind of want to go win one without them. Yeah, this isn't as exciting. Let me go get some more money somewhere else. I can make some more money. But what's really getting them to break up the chance of being like a true dynasty? The chance of winning one more championship, two more championships, because you look at all these teams and you take ego away, you take a lot of the dynamics away, and you realize, sorry, I got like a dry throat, and you realize that those teams, it's not like they were past their prime or players just got old. I know that happens sometimes, but most times it's the pride, it's the ego, it's players getting bored, wanting to go do something else. That other situation looks more exciting. The grass starts looking greener on the other side. Why? Because doing the same thing over and over becomes boring. We get tired of it, even if it's winning. Now we want to win in a different way. We want a little more credit. We want all of these different things rather than just staying in a situation that you're going to likely have the best chance of winning. So this kind of, like I said, all these thoughts came together as to why we don't just root for, or why we can't do what it takes to win in various areas of our lives. And it's because it's not fun. Winning is not fun. Maybe winning the first time, but winning is hard work. It's very simple, but it's hard work. Right? It's not easy, but it's simple. It's tough work. Being consistent and holding yourself to a certain standard day in and day out just to win again, just to keep winning, it becomes hard. It becomes hard because you want distractions. It's more fun when things just go up and down. It's more exciting. When people just get used to you winning, it's almost like sometimes they resent it. Or it's like, we know they're going to win anyway. I don't want to root for them. I just hope somebody beats them. They always win. Nah, I'm changing my mindset. And I may have touched on this maybe years ago, but I'm changing my mindset. Nah, I'm rooting for, who's supposed to win? Forget the underdog. Who's supposed to win? Tell me why they're supposed to win. Oh, they're disciplined, they're consistent, they're the focused team. They make the least amount of turnovers. They have the least amount of mental lapses, the least amount of penalties. That's the team I want to root for. Why? Because if I'm rooting for that team, then I'm embracing that team's system and that team's culture and that team's strategy to put themselves in the best possible chance to win. That's who I want to root for. Across the board. Across the board. That's who I want to root for. Because most of the time, no different than us performing on an academic test. The better prepared we are, like you take two people competing for a grade. The person that prepares the best is probably going to have the best chance of getting the higher grade. So why would I not root for that person? Why would I not realize that if somebody consistently wins, then let's back into it. Why are they consistently winning? Because they have all these amazing intangibles that when applied universally to any industry, to any competition, to any job, you're going to win at a higher rate than if you don't have those intangibles. So I'm no longer rooting for the underdog. That's what I'm saying right now. We'll see. It may change. But my mindset has shifted to where the underdog, the fun story, I get it. Nothing made me happier than LeBron and them coming back, from Golden State. That's probably the most excited I've been for an NBA championship, Super Bowl, all that in a long time. And it was fun. They came back, but shouldn't I have been rooting for Golden State? I don't know. And I'm only basing it off of I'm going for the consistent team. Maybe that's a bad example. Brown and them, they was playing, whatever. But I just want us to think about that. Whether it's Tesla, and I don't know. I don't even know. I know a lot of people have like personal issues with Elon Musk and stuff. But with businesses, all these different things, who's consistently performing at a high level? That's who I want to root for. That's why I love Floyd Mayweather so much, because regardless of, his outside the ring, if you look at why he won, it makes sense. He worked harder than everybody else. He worked smarter than everybody else. He was more disciplined. He approached things with a more intelligent game plan. He stuck to his game plan more. He didn't get caught up in the emotions of stuff. He was very logical how he approached fighting and then when he got in the ring. That's why he won. Wasn't the hardest puncher. Wasn't the fastest. He just outsmarted and outworked everybody and outdisciplined and was more consistent. That's why, in my opinion, he's the best fighter ever. You know, we saw a lot of other boxers, whether it's Mike Tyson, take fights off, Muhammad Ali lose to people he shouldn't have lost to. Show me the person that wins consistently and that doesn't lose to people that they're not supposed to lose to. That's who I want to root for. That's who I want to root for because that's who I want to model my life and my system and my culture off of. Not the people that, well, shoot, they beat some teams that they had no business beating, but then they lose to teams they had no business losing to. That, nah, I want the consistency because I can follow consistency. I can follow boring day in, day out, just performing at a certain standard and making sure that it never drops. I can handle all of that. I can embrace that. I can get behind that. I can apply that into my day-to-day life. And I believe more of us should, because if more of us did, more of us would be winning. If more of us became addicted to winning and rooting for winners, then more of us would understand why they win. And hopefully more of us would embrace exactly how they win into our lives and apply those very same customs to our day-to-day. So that's just really what I wanted to share with you all, you know, kind of get my thoughts out there. But I just had to. I had to just jump on and share this because it's been just sitting with me all day. And I got another meeting tonight, but I'm rooting for winners. I'm rooting for winners. People that consistently do what it takes to put themselves in the best possible chance to win, the best situation to win. That's who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the people that stay on a straight line. And not to say that I'm not rooting for the people that, hey, they swayed off of it, they swayed all this way, but now they're back on a straight line. Why would I hold them in higher regards than the people that just stayed consistent? That's who I'm rocking with. The consistent, the focused, the disciplined. And the people that approach things from a logical standpoint rather than get caught up in the emotions of what's fun. That's who I'm rocking with. So with that, I'll let y'all go. We'll probably be back on tomorrow recording something for y'all. We got a couple podcasts dropping as well. We got a couple coming your way. So exciting stuff. Appreciate y'all as always. Onward and upward, strength and honor. And let's just win. Let's focus on winning. Let's focus on controlling the things that we can control because that's what winners do. They don't focus on the stuff that's outside of their control. Winners focus on controlling the controllables and then putting themselves in the best possible position to make sure that they come out on top. And to, you know, the stuff that they can't control, when you focus on controlling the controllables, you're going to put yourself in the best possible chance to be successful in those areas that are not entirely in your control. So let's win. I'll see y'all soon. Ooh.